Hello, ladies and gents. Today I'm going to look at the subject of becoming an informed user of products. This is something that is actually quite transferable from the design technology curriculum. At the end of the day, even if you do no more design technology work specifically, you will all use products at some point or other in the rest of your life. You'll go shopping for them, you'll use them, you might even dispose of them as well. So this is a really important way of thinking about products, and it will work across a variety of different areas. I'm going to go through a few examples. So to start, let's say 10 minutes, it should take you about one. Okay, jot down on a piece of paper, scrap paper somewhere. If you're about to get a new mobile phone, which one would you want right now? If I say, look, money's no limit, what mobile phone do you want? Okay, and I'd like you to just write a couple of bullet points. Why do you want that mobile phone? Okay, you can pause if you want for a second and carry on when you're done. So why do we want to become informed users of products? As I said, you all use products, but why? Okay, a couple of answers I've got here for you. Better value for money. You're likely to find a better quality of product. Chances are better for the environment if you pick your products correctly. And as we move forward, you might see why. So here I've got an image of free lots of chocolates. Okay, Quality Streets, Heroes and Roses. Obviously, one's at £2, the other two boxes at £3. Very quickly, you make a decision when you're in the shop. Which one do I want to buy? Well, you know what? I'm a fan of Heroes. I like the different sweets in there. I'm going to go for some Heroes at £3. That box looks a little bit bigger than the Quality Streets anyway, and also maybe not a fan of the Roses. Let's see how our becoming more informed might help us here. So rule one when I go shopping is reading the small print, and I've just realised my face is in the way, so I'll move that in a moment. So in reading the small print, obviously the prices vary, but also the weight of the packaging varies. So with the weight, you can work out the price per 100 grams. If you're in a supermarket, they actually have to offer this information now anyway on the labels. So you see nice big red sign saying reduced to this price to try and draw your eye and make you want to buy it. Read how much it costs per 100 grams or per kilo, depending what the product is. You might find that the product next to it that's not on sale is still cheaper. So price per 100 grams is really, really important. So the Heroes, 103p per gram per 100 grams compared to Quality Streets at 83p. And I can't see because where my camera is at the moment, but I believe the Roses came in about 89p per 100 grams. So actually, I should go for the Roses or the Quality Streets if I'm looking to save my pennies. Okay, obviously you'll have your own personal choice as to which chocolate you prefer there, but I'm a tight northerner, and people from Yorkshire don't like getting their wallets out for good reason. So I'd always look for the best value for money. And I know a number of you have heard me talk about Easter eggs in the past and how I will not buy Easter eggs because at the end of the day, you're paying an awful lot for packaging. I just go and buy chocolate bars at the same price because you get more for your money, and that's the price per 100 grams. Keep an eye on that. So, going to go through a real life practical scenario, and this is my own personal practical scenario, and it is exactly what I did here. So I'm buying a new car. In essence, I've already bought the new car to replace my Volvo S40, which I loved. Okay, as it's not particularly baby friendly. It's got Isofix seats in the back, but the boot is tiny and I can't put the pushchair in it. So it needs replacing. So where do I start? Okay, what should I get? There's so many options. And amazingly, in doing this research, there are over 350 different models of car available. That's scary to actually do some proper research on 350 different cars. So where do I start? So started by working out what's important. Okay, what were my minimum requirements? Who is it for? And what's the budget? So immediately, unfortunately, the Bugatti Veyron was out. Okay, that was slightly out of the teacher salary price bracket. Also, I'm not sure I needed something that fast to get between centre site and west site. Equally, I then thought, I want a family car, nice big Range Rover. Once again, financially, probably not the right one. Also, probably not very good on the fuel efficiency, so I looked at that. My budget's not maybe that high, and I've got a lovely Lada there. You guys won't have even heard of Ladas, but they're predominantly famous for being appalling cars. So, need a family car, needs to be the right sort of value. My previous car had problems with the boot. That was one of the big problems. Okay, so off the back of that, I made a list of what I wanted, and I also asked my wife what she wanted from a car because she was also going to drive it. So, prioritising. I wanted an estate or an SUV. That shrunk down the number of cars available. I wanted a large boot. That's my top priority. 5 seats minimum. Luckily, most cars have 5 seats. I wanted it to be a little bit different. Okay, the Nissan Qashqai is on the road, and there's lots and lots of them. I can see 2 from my house here on the road where I live. Okay, not older than 5 years and less than 30,000 miles on the clock. So I want it reasonably new, but not brand new because I can't afford that. Then I asked Mrs. Thompson what she'd like. She didn't want the car too long because she gets a bit nervous driving long cars. Didn't want it to be too low, so wanted it to be easy to lift baby in and out of the car. And we've sort of agreed. I say she's agreed that it's £10,000 budget. Okay, what I really want is a Skoda Karoq. I think that's how you pronounce it. A friend of mine had one. I got a lift in with them. Really nice car. Okay, so from all that, I made some priorities, and actually I decided a boot size was a priority because actually most cars will have 5 seats. Okay, that's most cars I can probably find within the budget. Okay, then aesthetics is going to be something that I'm going to have to weigh up in my head rather than be able to write on paper. It scores 5 for aesthetics. Going to have to make a judgment. So the only thing I can really judge these cars on, okay, is going to be the boot size out of those priorities. So off the back of that, I created a list of all the cars that fitted that category, and then I did a little judgment as to put them in order. So you'll see a table on the next slide. Really big table here, and you'll see at the bottom of the table the Volvo S40. So I highlighted what I already had. It's Saloon, which is not on my list. I want an estate or a SUV. Look at that boot size, 440 litres. 404, sorry, litres. Tiny. Then I've also put the Skoda Fabia, which is what my wife drives. Slightly smaller boot size, but actually much bigger when you put the seats down. So I've put them in order of boot size. So the Peugeot 5008, massive car. Having looked at it, I didn't like how it looked at all. And actually, for looking at in my 10,000 budget, I couldn't get one for the right age and mileage. Okay, so working down, I've color coded red. Those are out of the question. So I'm looking at an insignia. Showed Mrs. Thompson way too long. Same with the Hyundai i40, way too long, unfortunately. Volvo V60 was okay, but actually we were pushing the price a little bit there. So it ended up coming down to looking at, where was it? The Peugeot 3008, Hyundai Tucson, were the 2 that came up. My Skoda Karoq, which I wanted. Okay, unfortunately it's too new, so there's no cars second-hand in my price range. Sad times. So having identified the 2 here, nice big boot sizes. Okay, and actually the Honda is up there as well because we wanted something that's not long, a little bit taller. So we're looking at SUVs. We started looking at some of the pricings and reviews. So I use data here to identify what's going to be my priority. So I've now highlighted 3 or 4 really that I like the look. I then spent quite a lot of time, particularly cars, a really expensive purchase. I spent a lot of time reading, but you could do this reasonably quickly. So going on to Autocar or CarWow here, and reading some reviews and just doing a quick comparison between the two top cars here. So the Peugeot 3008 and the Honda CR-V reviews for the same sort of age car. And off the back of that, I then went and test drove both of them, so I got a comparison. But there's lots of reading there if you need to do it. And off the back of that, this was the winner. Okay, a bit different to my Volvo. So why did it win? Well, it met my initial requirements, which is really, really important. Without that, it wouldn't work. I then read the reviews, and in particular, I read the reviews, and there's different submodels, and it was the 1.6 litre diesel Allure model that came up top of the reviews. And I tried it out, drove it, felt good. And also, when I actually came to look at it in much more detail, there's a load of extra features. These are really important features because I feel everyone should have a fridge in the car. Comes with a fridge. It's got a massive sunroof. I'm looking at it out the window right now. It's got an awesome boot with a tail lift, really good for when I go walking. And it's got blinds in the back so the sun doesn't get in the baby's eyes. So it actually worked really well for little Ivy. So that's the process I went through there to become an informed user of that product. I now know why I bought it. That is the best one for me within my price range at the time. And it's really important when particularly big purchases are going to cost a lot of money that you get it right. You don't want to go, oh, I should have bought something else, because at that point I'm not buying a new one for at least 5 years. That would hurt a little bit to my bank balance. So task for you now. So you've been asked by somebody in your home to recommend a new product for the house. You have a choice of 3 products. So vacuum cleaner, washing machine, or printer. I've purposely picked products that aren't exciting here. Okay, I got quite excited buying a vacuum cleaner recently, but not everyone does. Okay, so they are meant to be slightly boring products because I want you to look at them objectively and look at the data rather than go, oh, that looks pretty. I want to buy that. That's what everyone else has. I want you to sort of dial this back down slightly to make it really, I'm going to say, logical. So you're going to decide on someone at home, find the person who normally buys that product. So a parent, most than likely. Ask them what's important for them. So if you're buying a vacuum cleaner, that's the example I'm going to use right now, you'd ask them what do they want the vacuum cleaner to do? What are the priorities? Do they want it to be upright? Do they want it to be one you pull around the floor? Do they want it to have a lot of storage space for dust? Do they want to have lots of extra features? Do they want it to be really lightweight? Ask them to prioritize what they want from the product. Okay, ask them what their budget is, because there's no point you doing research for nice £1,000 vacuum cleaners when the budget might only be £200, and that's fine. Off the back of that, you're then going to do some research. Okay, so speak to somebody, work out what the priorities are, then do some research. So we've created our list of priorities, so what your client wants, and then we're going to put them into a table. So I'm talking through a vacuum cleaner here. If you are using the vacuum cleaner, feel free to use my table, maybe modify it slightly. And research 5 different products. What I've done here is I've added in an extra row for existing products. So it's good to compare what you already have. Is what you're getting now, the new, or what you're going to recommend in a moment, is that better than what you've already got? If it's not better, I would suggest you don't buy it. So make, model, what energy rating, price, weight, those are the things you can compare quite easily. And off the back of that, you can make a short list of 2. Based on the information you've got, you can pick 2 off that list that you think, actually, they're the best 2, I think. And then I'd like you, off the back of that, to do some reviews. Okay, so pick 2, review them. Now you want to use an independent website for the reviews. So really important here, don't use Amazon reviews. Never trust Amazon reviews. Okay, the reason being, anybody can write them, including the people that sell or make the product. With John Lewis AO, Argos, which in particular, okay, they're more independent. Yes, if there are shops, they want you to buy the product, but you can always, with John Lewis or Argos, for example, compare product, use the reviews from Argos all the way through. So you can, different reviews in Argos will look slightly differently and sound slightly differently, so you can get a better understanding. But as I say, Amazon don't trust, which is an independent product review agency, so they're really good, but they do often charge you for the reviews. So looking at shops, Currys PC World maybe. Okay. Once you've read reviews of your 2 products, pick one. Okay, and make a final recommendation to your client. So go to whoever it is that will be buying that vacuum cleaner and say, I suggest you buy this vacuum cleaner. It's going to be the best one for your needs and price. Okay. What you don't want to do with any of these purchases, if you were making them yourself, just walk into, I'm going to say, Currys PC World and go, oh, I fancy a vacuum cleaner today, and just go, oh, that one's on sale, I'll buy that. Make sure you've made the right informed decision and know it's the best vacuum cleaner that you can get for your money. Not just because, oh, it's got £100 off, it must be good. Not always the case. Okay. Now, let's go back to our mobile phones. So we're going to review our answer from the starter task. Okay. Because the reasons you put, I'm sure, at the start probably weren't good enough for your reason for wanting that phone. So we're going to do some actual research, similar to what we just did for our household object, but this is now for you. Okay. I would write a list to start with of what features you think are important. I'm going to go work through this example, and you're going to then do this yourself. So I've taken 5 phones. These are the 5 top phones I could find. I've made all this data up, I should add, at this point. The price, the camera, the memory, the screen size, the battery life, talk time. And off here, I can decide which one's best. So the best camera is phone A. The best memory, phone A and D. Best screen size, B and C. Battery life, phone C. Talk time, phone B or C. Price, phone E. There's so many comparisons, I can't work out which is best. So having created a table like this, your next task is to come up with a scoring system. You can modify your scoring system, but I'm going to show you the one I've used on the next slide. So scoring system. I've just given a point score to each. So if it was the top score, so for price, E was the best scoring one, it became first, yeah, I got 5 points. Second, 4 points. Third got 3 points, and so on. And off the back of that, I totaled that phone C was the best phone. As I said, I've made up all this data. This phone doesn't exist. You're going to have to create this yourself. Okay, and I would like you to work out what your phone of choice is. Okay, or what's the best phone. You might still decide separately. So once you've worked out your top 2 phones, do some reviews, decide out of those top 2 which one you should buy. I'm not saying it's the one you will buy. Finance will dictate that, I'm sure, but also you will, at the end of the day, make a decision that's based on emotion as well. So I've got an Apple phone, amazingly. Is the Apple phone the best phone for me at the time? No. There were phones that had better cameras, better memory, better battery life, but I'd always had Apple, so I buy Apple again. And we make an emotional attachment to products, so you don't always make a decision based on just the data. You'll make a decision that's got a little bit of the heart in there as well. So I'd like you to then make a decision, what is the best phone based on data though? And then all you need to hand in from this task is click on the link in the presentation. It asks you for 3 bits of information: your name, what phone you wrote in your starter, and which phone came out top in your research. Okay, I'm just interested to find out how that changed. Okay, you don't need to tell me anything more about what you've done in this lesson. All I want to know is what you put in your starter, what you put at the end. Okay, thank you very much. I hope this was an informative lesson looking at how you should become a slightly more informed user of a product. Looking forward to your answers. Bye.